Elijah had become a frequent visitor to the river, where Mila would wait to greet him with laughter that echoed through the water. He would come bearing gifts, colorful fabrics, intricate ornaments, and sometimes even food, such as fruits. Although Mila couldn't eat these gifts, she appreciated the effort, and her heart warmed at the thoughtfulness Elijah put into making her feel special. They shared stories, laughed together, and talked about adventures they'd never had, imagining the experiences they might one day share. But Mila's happiness was short-lived. Her fiancé, Oku, the strongest and most respected merman in their kingdom, began to notice her frequent absences. One day, while swimming through the reef, Oku saw Mila talking to Elijah by the riverbank. The sight of the two of them laughing together sent waves of jealousy through his heart. Who is this human she spends so much time with? Oku muttered to himself, his chest tightening with anger. The following day, Oku approached Mila as she sat in her coral palace, brushing her hair. Mila, Oku began, his voice calm but laced with tension, who is that human you've been meeting by the river? Mila froze for a moment before turning to him, trying to remain composed. His name is Elijah. He's a friend, she said lightly, avoiding his piercing gaze. A friend. Oku's voice rose slightly. A human friend. Do you not know the dangers of mingling with their kind? Mila sighed, her eyes softening. Elijah is different. He saved my life, and I owe him a great deal. He has been kind and has shown me nothing but respect. Oku's face darkened. You owe him nothing more than gratitude. Spending too much time with humans can only bring trouble. I won't allow it. Mila frowned. Allow it. You do not control me. Elijah is my friend, and I will see him if I wish to. Oku clenched his fist but said nothing further. He swam away, his mind churning with thoughts of what he'd seen. A few days later, Elijah returned to the river, holding up a beautiful pearl necklace he had bought in the city. He wanted to thank Mila for changing his life and being such a wonderful friend. Mila! Elijah called from the riverbank, holding the necklace high. Mila swam up quickly, her face lighting up when she saw him. Elijah! What a pleasant surprise, she exclaimed, climbing onto a rock near the riverbank, her tail shimmering in the sunlight. Elijah handed her the necklace, and her eyes sparkled with joy. This is so beautiful, Elijah. Thank you, she said, running her fingers over the smooth pearls. As they talked and laughed, neither of them noticed Oku hiding behind the reeds, his eyes burning with jealousy. He watched the two with clenched teeth, his mind racing. This human thinks he can steal Mila from me, Oku thought. I'll show him the strength of a merman. The next time Elijah came to the river, Oku was waiting for him. Mila hadn't arrived yet, and Elijah sat on a rock near the water, skipping stones and humming a tune. Suddenly, the water began to bubble and churn. Before Elijah could react, Oku emerged, towering above him. You! Oku growled, pointing a sharp trident at Elijah. Startled, Elijah stumbled backward. Oh, hello, he said cautiously. You dare come to this river and speak with Mila? Do you not know she is promised to me? Oku's voice boomed. Elijah raised his hands in defense. I mean no harm. Mila is my friend, that's all. Oku's eyes narrowed. A human and a mermaid cannot be friends. Leave now, and never return. Though intimidated, Elijah stood his ground. Mila has the right to choose her friends. You can't control her. Oku roared in anger and lunged at Elijah with his trident. Elijah barely dodged the attack, stumbling as the trident struck the rock behind him. Mila, stop! Mila's voice rang out as she swam up to the scene. She positioned herself between Oku and Elijah, shielding Elijah with her body. Oku, you're wrong. Elijah is no danger to anyone. He's my friend, and I won't let you harm him. Oku's anger boiled over. Friendship with humans brings nothing but destruction. Mila, do you not care about our people? I care about you and our people, Oku, Mila replied firmly. But Elijah saved my life when no one else could. He has proven himself trustworthy. Oku hesitated, his grip on the trident loosening. He looked at Mila, then at Elijah, and growled in frustration. This is not over, he muttered, disappearing into the water with a powerful flick of his tail. After Oku left, Mila turned to Elijah, who was still shaken. I'm so sorry about that, she said, helping him to his feet. It's okay, Elijah replied, brushing off his clothes. But Mila, is it safe for me to keep visiting you? I don't want to cause trouble. Mila smiled gently. You've done nothing wrong, Elijah. I'll handle Oku. Please, don't let this stop you from coming to see me. Elijah nodded, though he couldn't shake the feeling that Oku would return. As Mila swam away, she couldn't help but feel torn. She valued Elijah's friendship deeply, but Oku's jealousy was growing stronger every day. She knew she had to find a way to make peace between them before things escalated further. Little did she know, Oku was already planning his next move, one that could change their lives forever. Later that night, Mila sat by her window, staring out at the vast ocean. Her heart was heavy, but she knew she had made the right choice. She couldn't allow Oku's jealousy to dictate her life. Meanwhile, Oku swam deep into the dark trenches of the ocean, his mind consumed by thoughts of revenge. He wasn't going to let Mila's decision go unanswered. As the tides shifted, so did the balance of peace in the underwater kingdom. Unbeknownst to Mila, her choice would set off a chain of events that would change her life, and the lives of everyone she loved, forever. Elijah, meanwhile, couldn't resist the pull of the river. Ever since he met Mila, his life had changed, and he felt connected to her in a way he couldn't explain. Despite the warnings he'd received and the danger that seemed to follow, he returned to the riverbank carrying a small gift for Mila, a wooden bracelet he had carved himself. The sun was setting, casting a golden glow over the water as Elijah sat near the river, skipping stones and waiting for Mila. The air was calm, and the gentle repose of the river made him feel at peace. Mila, he called softly, hoping she would hear him. But before Mila could appear, a dark shadow emerged from the water. It was Oku, his trident gleaming ominously under the fading light. You again, Oku growled, his voice low and threatening. Startled, Elijah stood up. I'm just here to see Mila. I don't want any trouble. Oku's face twisted into a sneer. You are the trouble, human. You've done enough to disrupt our world. It's time to put an end to this. Before Elijah could react, Oku lunged at him, grabbing him with his powerful arms and pulling him into the water. Elijah struggled, gasping for air, but Oku's grip was too strong. Days passed, and Elijah's mother began to worry. He hadn't returned home, and it wasn't like him to stay out late. She walked around the village, asking neighbors if they had seen him. Have you seen my son, Elijah? She asked a group of women gathered near a fire. One of the women looked up and said, The last time I saw him, he was heading toward the river. Elijah's mother's heart sank. The river? Yes, I saw him walking in that direction earlier today, the woman confirmed. Panic gripped Elijah's mother as she hurried toward the river, her wrapper tied tightly around her waist. Tears streamed down her face as she reached the water's edge. Elijah, she cried, her voice echoing across the still water. Elijah, where are you? She collapsed onto her knees, her hands trembling as she sobbed uncontrollably. My son, where is my son? Mila, swimming nearby, heard the cries and swam to the surface. She saw Elijah's mother at the riverbank, crying and calling his name. Mila's heart tightened with worry as she emerged from the water. Madam, what's wrong? Mila asked gently. Elijah's mother gasped and stepped back, startled to see a mermaid. It was Mila, but when she saw the concern on Mila's face, she managed to speak. It's my son, Elijah, she said between sobs. He's missing. Someone said he came to the river, but he hasn't returned home. Mila's chest tightened. Elijah, she muttered, before looking at the woman. Yes, I've seen him. Don't worry, I'll find him. I promise. Without another word, Mila dove back into the water, her mind racing. The only person she could think of who might have taken Elijah was Oku. Mila swam as fast as she could toward Oku's coral fortress. Her tail cut through the water like a blade, and her heart pounded with both fear and anger. When she arrived, the guard stopped her at the entrance. I need to see Oku, she demanded. He's busy, one of the guards replied. This is urgent. Mila snapped, pushing past them and swimming into the grand hall. Oku was lounging on his coral throne, his trident resting beside him. He looked up as Mila stormed in, her eyes blazing with fury. Oku, she shouted. Where is Elijah? Oku's expression remained calm, but there was a flicker of something in his eyes, guilt, perhaps, or satisfaction. I don't know what you're talking about, he said, leaning back in his throne. Don't lie to me. Mila shouted, swimming closer. I know you took him. Where is he? Oku's face hardened. Even if I did take him, it would be for the good of our kingdom. That human doesn't belong here. Mila's hands curled into fists. Elijah has done nothing wrong. He's my friend, and you had no right to take him. Oku stood, his trident in hand. He's a danger to you, Mila. Can't you see that? Humans are unpredictable. They only bring destruction. I'm protecting you. Mila glared at him, her voice trembling with anger. This isn't about protection. This is about your jealousy. You can't stand the thought of me caring about someone other than you. Oku stepped closer, his voice low and dangerous. You're right, I can't stand it. But it doesn't matter anymore. That human is gone, and he's not coming back. Mila's heart sank. What have you done, Oku? Where is Elijah? Oku smirked. Let's just say he won't be bothering us anymore. Mila's eyes filled with tears, but her expression remained defiant. You'll regret this, Oku. I swear, on the ocean itself, you'll regret it. Without waiting for a response, Mila turned and swam away. Her mind raced with plans to save Elijah. She knew she had to act quickly, but she also knew she couldn't do it alone. As Mila swam back to her family's home, she thought about what to do next. She would need help to find and rescue Elijah, but she wasn't sure who she could trust. When she arrived, her mother, Queen Mara, noticed her distress. Mila, what's wrong? Queen Mara asked, swimming over to her. It's Elijah, Mila said, her voice trembling. He's missing, and I think Oku has him. Queen Mara's face grew serious. Oku? Are you certain? Mila nodded. He didn't admit it, but I know he's responsible. I need to find Elijah before it's too late. The queen placed a hand on Mila's shoulder. We'll help you, my daughter. You won't face this alone. Mila nodded, her determination growing. She would stop at nothing to save Elijah, no matter what it took. Meanwhile, deep in the trenches of the ocean, Elijah was being held in an underwater cave guarded by two mermen loyal to Oku. The cave was dark and cold, and Elijah shivered as he sat against the damp walls. His hands tied with seaweed. He couldn't understand why this was happening to him. All he wanted was to see Mila, his friend, and now he was trapped in a place he didn't understand. I have to get out of here, Elijah muttered to himself, struggling against his bonds. He thought of Mila and held on to the hope that she would come for him. Mila, meanwhile, was gathering her allies and preparing to confront Oku. She wouldn't let him get away with what he had done. She wouldn't rest until Elijah was safe. The battle for Elijah's freedom was just beginning.